Damn, son, we are lit tonight. Or are we? I don't know. Crack one open. I've already had a few because I went out with my wife. I'm going to have a few more now. We'll be right back.
Things are going to start happening to me now.
You've done all the reading. You're a scholar. You're a professor. You've done all the reading. You've done the intellectual heavy lifting.
More or less, eat shit and die.
You wouldn't know a fact if it begged you all night long.
Want to give the wrong impression because I am very high.
Ran up behind him with a hatchet. Smash, smash, smash. Yeah.
Care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is,
Did you vote for Joe Jorgensen or Trump?
Who?
Joe Jorgensen.
That was the perfect answer. Thank you.
Welcome everybody. This is Tyler Yonke. Are we doing this? I think so. Oh my God. It's darker in my room. I've got the Cure going. It's a wild night. I went out. It was a rough day at work, okay? So I came home, my wife and I, we go to Whole Foods. They have a beer garden, and wow, did I get a little kink? Yes, Minder, it is live. Welcome everybody. And then I came home and she's going out with her friend, so I cracked one open. And this is a 9.5. So I'm like, let's do a Drunkcast. Let's figure out what's going on Friday night. That's pretty good. Okay. Never mind, it's live. Barbie, damn it, it's never live. It's always live. It's always live. I do them always live, almost always. By the way, I appreciate the people that joined me for having Pete Quinones on. Look, is Trash joining? Look, good question. I asked him, and here's what he said. He goes, I'm not going to show you here. He goes, I said, you busy tonight? I'm going to Drunkcast. He said, MFer, you would have met, if you would have, look, his spelling is wrong. He said, met me, like 30 minutes sooner. I said, whatever, gay wad. And he gave me a heart for that. So I don't think he is, but he could be joining us. I know you guys like Trash, what's his name? Andy? Garbage Trash Talk. So sorry about that. Not going to have one. So look, I had Pete Quinones on. This was this last week. I even said up front in the interview, I'm talking to him and I'm like, look, people get upset when you don't push back on certain people, but sometimes I just want to let them talk. And that's exactly what happened. The whole idea of me having Pete on was not to have a debate with him. I disagree with him on many things. And I think I got him to admit a few things, which is, look, you trash the libertarian. I didn't say this all right, but you trash the libertarians because they live in Capistan in their head or whatever. But is your solutions going to happen? And he said, no. I'm like, okay, then yours is just as valid as mine. The only difference is I have a religious background that principles I hold to. And I think it's important that you don't just go out and kill people, right? That's what I think. I absolutely love Pete. Like I said, he's been great to me. He's not always great to the libertarian movement because he kind of trashes them as he leaves out. But that's fine. Understand where things are coming from with everybody. And by the way, the big reason I'm not trashing Pete here, one, I love the guy, and I think I think everyone's kind of captivated in their own mind a lot of times. But also he asked me afterwards to come on his show, and I'm going to do Leo Frank, the ADL, the whole murder situation, the case. So it's gonna happen, people. I'm gonna be on the Pete Quinones show. So for that, I'm very grateful. Let's see what else we have here. David's in the chat. He said, hi, Boozer. I'll tune in for 30 minutes. Got to finish The Dark Knight. Okay, that's fine. This sounds like a fun. Oh, my God. Okay, you guys are going on here. I thought all the booze Andy was tweeting was for the show. I wish. So I'll drink. I'm going to talk about a few things. One is, and by the way, since I have a little alcohol in me and it's a Friday night, I'm just going to trash a few people. One is Martha Bueno. That horrible human just went after Dave Smith, and such a she owned herself. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to show that tweet. I'm also going to play some clips, I think, of the a debate that Tom Woods had on his show, which was horrible. I loved it, absolutely loved it to the core, but it was a debate between a DeSantis supporter, Steve Deace of the Blaze, and then a Trump supporter, and it is so gross. It made me dislike them both even more. Okay, let's go. I thought all the, oh, you already said that one. JC said, Pete got a little unhinged. I thought he was going to start crying. I mean, Pete was fine. Look, I didn't even want to talk politics when Pete came on. I just wanted to talk about other things. And I thought, he and I have had, and it's so interesting. We've had conversations in our DMs that are like really substantive and changes that are going on in life. I thought it'd be interesting to flesh those out. And we even said, he's like, look, politics is gay and we talk about it way too much and you can't help but talk about it. And so look, that's just part of what we have. New for 2020, Martha Bueno owns herself. Self-ownership. She is a classic piece of trash. But what I thought we'd start with right here, let's talk about Fox and Sons, their coffee. Here is Fox and Sons. I absolutely love their coffee. And you're like, Tyler, yes, I'm pushing this stuff. Tanzania Peaberry. I've had that. It's okay. The Den Blend Dark, honestly, if you like Starbucks coffee, you'll like that one. I hate Starbucks coffee, so I don't enjoy that one. My favorite is this Brazil Honey Prep. I actually have some cute, I drink it. It's like what, 7 o'clock here Pacific? I'm drinking some as we speak because I'm a coffee addict, and maybe I'll probably even order a bag of coffee as we speak here on the show. So let's go here. Let's go to shop. Honey, I ground for drip. I made that mistake last time. No, I don't want it ground for drip because I grind my own. Matter of fact, we'll play a little thing here. So Honey Brazil, this is my favorite. This is absolutely wonderful stuff. Add it to the cart. We'll go up here to the cart, shopping cart. Let's go to checkout. I should probably get 2 bags though, because if you order $25 or more, you actually get a discount. So we should probably go back to shopping some more. Look, here is me making coffee in my machine. This is how it's this is how it's done. Make sure you see the credit card number. Absolutely. Tyler, can you not say Tanzania? I have trouble. I have trouble with certain words. That's me making my coffee in the morning. That's how I make it every morning. And this I put creamer in. By the way, is that gay? Perhaps, but that's how I like it. Let's go back here. That's not the one. That's not the one. This one. He did bring some new coffee out here. This Mexican. Do I like Mexican? I prefer my coffee to be Ethiopian. By the way, it has hints of like fruit in it, and you're like, oh, how fruity is that? It doesn't matter. He can't pronounce Tanzania correctly, so it's impossible. Why does it matter? I could pronounce bitch. Literally the gayest thing about you. Possibly. Wait. Whoa. You're saying drinking coffee is gay? Really? Right here. Every morning. It happens every single fucking morning. I do that. So they got some Guatemala. Let's go back here. Let's go back to the Ethiopian natural. I think this is his new stuff. I'm going to add it right in here. Let's take a look at this. Single origin, light roast, ground coarse, perfect. I want whole bean stuff. We'll add this to the cart. And I'm gonna buy those too. As we do it tonight, I'm gonna end up check out the $31. So there we go. And what do you do for the code? Review. Let's watch it. Watch it go. Boom. $4. $4. There's my address. Oh, I just doxed myself out there. That's perfect. Fucking cares. Who cares? I don't really care. Oh my God, Tara. Oh, talk about doxing. You're just doxing her out there, Jethro. Oh my God, Jethro, not creamer. Not the creamer is the least gay thing. Okay, bitch. I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is. Was Poppy Homan? Okay, let's go to and I use the word bitch lightly here. So let's. I'm going to remove this from the studio. I'm going to remove this one. So we're going to go up here. I'm going to go to X. Okay. And here is a post that our famous Martha Bueno put up. I don't know what, because I have her blocked. Okay, people. I have Martha Bueno blocked. By the way, that Kayleen yoga pants chick, she's blocked as well. It's the best thing you should do for yourself is block these whores. They're nothing, and they're not. By the way, Martha Bueno was recently on Timcast. I tried my damnedest to watch it. Boring. I'm sure I would be boring on there too. Big deal, but I'm not on there. So in this regard, she's awful. She's not got any sense to her. So here's what she said. I don't know what the context here is, but here's what she said. It's to Dave Smith. Quote, Martha is just making that up, unquote. I clearly said I thought you were supporting Vivek because you made a point to say you had him on your show twice. By the way, if you've watched Dave Smith at all, he's not supporting. I think he's too into RFK Jr., but he's also said he's not necessarily supporting him either. So this is stupid. Twice. You love the drama, don't you? Remember, she's pointing out he loves the drama. Like that time you claimed I left the LP because of you when it was about the LP blocking Javier Milei from coming to the Florida convention. Is that true? I don't know that. I thought she said she left the LP, and you could probably go back and fact check me. I thought she said I left the LP because of Top Lobster, the Tower Gang, the Mises Caucus were coming after her. Okay, literally, that's what I'm sure that's what it is. I don't think it had anything to do with Javier Milei not being able to go to the Florida convention. That sounds stupid, and it doesn't sound realistic. Dude, I get it. You get on the Joe Rogan podcast, quote, you're like, oh my God, so famous, unquote, or whatever. But I honestly don't care what you do or say. You do, or you wouldn't be posting this. Honestly, I think you're a hypocrite. You claim to be a libertarian, but you are against free movement of people. The people are so stupid. He's not. You claim to care about body autonomy, but you circumcised your son, effectively removing his body autonomy. You promised the Mises people you'd run for president, then you didn't. You do it, but you leave me. You do you. Sorry, I'm having trouble. It's cut off there. But leave me out of your drama. Oh, bitch, please. She's so stupid. So what happened with all that was then, let's see, where does, I'm sorry, I'm just cruising this over here with the Dave Smith stuff. So then Dave Smith comes back and says, she says, I removed my post. I had false information about your child, and for that I apologize. And he's like, where did you get that information from? You fucking made it. Fucking made it. I think he said made it up. Don't ever talk about my children's genitalia again, you sick fuck. She's so retarded. It's glorious, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Okay, let's go to the comments here. What do we got? Block these whores, words to live by. True. Benzo said, I mute the Liberty thoughts. I haven't read shit. I've posted on Twitter to this day. Haven't read shit. I haven't read shit I've posted. Are you a Liberty thought? Is that what you're saying? You block yourself? RFK is running as an independent. Yeah, I saw that. Also, that's not true at all. LOL. We asked LPFL. Okay. I'm assuming you're talking about Malay. The power of the Tower Gang. That's true. Lying about Dave's children's genitals, one of the weirdest lies I've ever seen, which is saying a lot. Right. Don't ever talk about my children, me and my children again. Children's genitals specifically. Right. I haven't seen my children's genitals since they, changed diapers, so I couldn't even comment on about all that situation. I mean, my kids are 22 to 17 now. It'd be weird if I was able to even comment on that, let alone whatever else. So that's Martha Bueno, stupid bitch. And I'm saying this. I have immunity right now because I'm a little bit tipsy, so I can say this kind of shit. I could just ramble on, and I could pull it out there and blame immunity for all this. Malay, yes, about Malay, however you spell it. Okay, that's fine. Fucking fuck ever. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. Barbie, Tara, whoever. You're on a platform right now. You can spell it, and before you click send, just make sure it's right. I'm the one who can make mistakes. So I'm just talking off the top of my head. Let's talk specifically Tom Woods. Oops, let's go here. Tom Woods recently had, I think I told you, just a few guys on his show doing a, let's go to this one. Okay, there we go. We're going to play a few clips here. This is, what's this guy? Gavin Wax. I think he worked for the Bee. It got really heated, unnecessarily heated. And they were talking about being a Christian, about just, it was really odd. And it's funny. It's a book. Steve Deace, who wrote an amazing book about Fauci, really came out hard against Trump about the shit he did with the vax and all that stuff. And it's devastating, honestly. And to hear Trump now talk about how he's, you know, he's a worthless person, obviously, but this stuff is devastating. So let's play a few clips here. I don't know what this one is because I just kind of
Response to Gavin, and then I'm going to ask each of you a question.
So much of what Gavin just said is a straw man that he even admitted he was making a straw man argument. I mean, he pointed out, well, Trump got more votes in a presidential election. And Steve's going to come back that we can't count that because there's higher turnout of a presidential election than a gubernatorial election. Well, then you just made a straw man argument and you're preemptively admitting one. I'm not many DeSantis supporters. I'm me. I'm not many COVID hawks. I'm the only man on this planet that has written not one but 2 best-selling books about COVID. The reality is, and he didn't address any of my substantive issues. He pivoted to several just generic campaign themes. First of all, Trump's barely campaigning. He's basically running the basement dummy campaign this time. He's held one rally. It was July 4th. I saw he's got 6 events scheduled in Iowa total between now and January the 15th. He has not displayed the same energy as he has before. But even if that were the case, we're still back to somebody wrote Moderna and Pfizer a blank check, and it killed a lot of people, Tom. A lot of people died suddenly. He wrote that check, Tom. Everything else Gavin said is irrelevant in the light of that very moral calculus that Trump made and the lives that were lost as a result. Donald Trump wrote that check. Donald Trump is unrepentant about that check. And as a result, there's really no comparison between anybody else, moral equivalency, and him. He alone made these decisions. He alone created the coronavirus task. Okay,
I just chime in here a bit, even with my saucy mind. It's an interesting thing when you're debating. These are not the candidates, so these are people advocating for the. Tyler, can I? Of course, Dickie. But can you? What's the word I'm looking for? Can you have a computer that works? Let's see here. I'm going to my thing. I'm looking for Dickie on my. There we go, Dickie, and send. Okay, check it out. So people are advocating for their party. And do you trash the other side, or do you talk about the things that are good for your side? It's hard not to. Dace does a good job here. And what's interesting is the one party trashing the other side. Okay, yeah. Come on, Dickie, whatever. I sent you the link, so figure the shit out. The one party trashing the other, that's perfectly fine, and it makes you hate that guy. And then you hear the other party trashing the other guy, and it makes you hate them. There's nothing here that I'm fond of really for DeSantis. It made me dislike both of them more and more as the show went on. So let's keep going though.
Task force. He alone appointed the gutless wonder known as Mike Pence to lead it. He alone outsourced his presidency to Anthony Fauci. He alone printed all that money and threatened people like Thomas Massey when they dared to oppose him for it.
Yeah, I remember
that.
He
alone shut the country down. He alone did these things. He even bragged about it. No, the governors aren't the ones making the case. I am. April 20th, 2020. Go into his own Twitter feed and you'll see his tweets admitting he's the one that is doing this. He alone did these things. No one else signed. No governor signed off on 15 days to flatten the curve. The president did. No governor signed off on 30 days to slow the spread. The president did. No governor wrote a check to Pfizer and Moderna with Operation Warp Speed and then said, I should get more credit. He did. He faced one real crisis in this presidency, Tom, and he failed it miserably. And it's the number one reason, and there's no close second, for why we are in the position that we are in today.
Steve Deace makes some really good arguments as to why you shouldn't want Trump as the presidential nominee. I don't know that DeSantis is the guy. I don't know if anybody watched the debates. I didn't watch them, but I watched some follow up with it, like some shows. I don't know if you know who Pat Gray is. He's on the Blaze. He was Glenn Beck's guy. It's so interesting to watch these guys now, especially like Pat Gray and his guy on there, Keith Malinek. Jose Gallison was on there doing some conspiracy stuff, and they are railing against the Nikki Haley's, the the Pence for being war hawks. It's so interesting to see that change. It's just like, I'm tired of 20 years of war. It's done and over, and you're pumping in money. We're just tired of all that stuff. So anyway, they did a great breakdown of the debates, which I liked. But let's skip forward here a little bit and see what else we got.
First, I'll ask you a question first. Let's stipulate that in March 2020, for the sake of argument, that everybody's confused, nobody knows what's happening. We can't be as hard on people in March 2020 as we would be at the end of the year. I'll even grant you that. But it's 3.5 years later now. And I understand that politically you think COVID's a no-go in terms of an issue. Fair enough. But I still want to ask you this question. 3.5 years later, we have Trump in the past 6 weeks doing the following two things. First, claiming that Florida was third worst on COVID, which is preposterously wrong. If you look at all 50 states, age-adjusted COVID mortality, number one being the worst.
By the way, let's look at this Gavin guy. Shirt's buttoned down a ways. He's got a nice little chain going on there. The hair is very Buck Sexton-like. I'm not sure of the whole. And Steve Deace is just unamused here. But anyway,
Florida's 36. Third worst. I don't know where you even get that from. So that's just flat.
Hey, Tom Woods, why am I not on your show?
Out wrong. So then on Truth Social, he reposts, or whatever the term is, an article from MSNBC saying Ron DeSantis' record on COVID is even worse than you thought. Now, I'm pretty sure MSNBC's argument is going to be because he didn't enforce masking and he didn't do this and that enough. So in other words, in order to go after his primary opponent, he's in effect siding with the Fauci people. So it's like once again, like he's learned nothing of who his enemies are and who his friends are. Fauci's his enemy. The whole public health establishment is his enemy, but he'll side with them against Florida to stick it to DeSantis. Now, do you think that speaks to something unsettling about Trump?
No, I think this is
okay. That, by the way, who is Gavin? I thought that was Dickie. By the way, I'd never heard of the guy. He's like some head of the Republican young kids or something like that in New York. Evidently, he worked for the Babylon Bee, and I think he's the guy that kind of took some shots about Christianity, and they fired him. This is like maybe a month ago, because Steve Deace goes after him personally at some point. I'm trying to find the spot here, but you know what? It's Drunkcast, so I'm not.
It's a heated primary, and I think the DeSantis camp has decided to make COVID the hill that they're going to die on. And forcing them to constantly have to defend the record of their governor and forcing them to constantly have to talk in doublespeak, as Steve just did, pretending that there were no lockdowns in Florida, that there were no mandates in Florida, that DeSantis was not praising Fauci going into 2021, that he was not, saying that he was listening to the CDC going into 2021, and a whole litany.
Is he? And look, suddenly this guy who's the Trump supporter, he's now knocking DeSantis for praising Fauci, which is what Trump is still doing. I mean, this is insanity. Okay, I'm going to remove this one. I'm going to go to the next clip here. Whew. How you guys doing on Friday night? Hope you're doing good. I hope I don't run out of content because I just want to sit here and talk. Okay.
All right, look, let me jump in. I'm going to ask Steve a question.
Hey, Tom, did your question get answered there?
I'll repeat it.
No, he didn't answer your question at all. Actually, Tom,
his question was, do you think there's any substance to these retweets or whatever he was posting online? And I made it very clear, I don't think that there's any substance behind that in terms of where his position is, but I think that these are actually brilliant tactical moves that Trump is doing to force your camp on the defensive, and they're working. So
when you think of tactical moves in Trump, I always think of the word brilliant. Now, you like him or not, is it brilliant to get indicted multiple places, in multiple jurisdictions for sex crimes, for all kinds of things? Is that a practice? Oh, geez, people, we've got. Well, let's. I got to have the right music for this. Everybody, on table 5, get your money out, get your dollar bills out. Don't be chintzy. Put the money in the crack. Dickie Walnuts.
What's
How
up,
you doing,
Tyler?
buddy?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm not drunk enough for Drunkcast, but it's okay, man. I'm giving my liver a break tonight.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time. I got a little tipsy early, and I'm still going. Yeah.
I'm trying to keep this fucking cigar from canoeing here, but
Tell me about your cigar. You've been
Friday.
smoking cigars for a while lately. Tell me about this. How's this going? And does your wife dislike it, or is she okay with it?
I mean, she doesn't like it that much because she doesn't like the smells for the most part. Well, it depends on what kind of cigar I have, at the time, right? But
does she smoke cigars?
She does not. I don't typically trust many women that smoke cigars.
Right.
But
I would agree.
I mean, this cigar sucks. I think my humidor wasn't humid enough. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of usually when I'm done with the baby for the day, you know, so I don't have to pick him up afterwards with tobacco on me and whatnot. But hey, you know, it's kind of essential, little stress relief, and it's great when you're reading or something, you know.
How many dogs
It looks
do you
badass.
have?
I have 2. And there's like
Right.
8,000 dogs outside my fence right now fighting.
Okay.
So
I'm just curious of what the fuck's going on. I have 3, and you know, do you hear any of my dogs? Do you hear them at all?
no, I just hear mine.
Right, because somehow I'm controlling mine and you're not. What's going on?
I don't give a fuck.
Do you have
mine
pit
are
bulls?
mine are
You have
mine are
pit
Florida
bulls?
dogs. I do not have pit bulls. No.
Florida dog.
Yeah, you have
Panhandle,
gentle
Clint.
California dogs.
I have California dog. Correct. I have 3 dogs. By the way, they're all black. So that's as you should.
I'm
when you
amazed how
own-
quiet they are.
Right. Well, they're not in the theater. They're not in the movies, so they know how to
That's
keep
right.
quiet. 2 of the 2 older, bigger dogs are more like giant cats. The youngest one, the smallest one, she's like all dog, like
Okay.
burying bones, hanging out with the chickens, doing all those fun things. So she's. By the way, our oldest dog, our biggest dog, cancer, had to amputate her leg, so she's a 3-legged dog now.
Tripod. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Damn, this cigar's pissing me off. All right. So why are we ranting about Donald Trump on the Tom Woods show today? Which episode is this?
This is I was just playing clips, Dickie.
Oh, okay.
I'm drunk here. I'm trying to play some things. I thought it was interesting because there's this guy. They started getting into it. I don't know if you want me to keep playing some of this. And they were starting to get personal, and I enjoyed that to the point where it's a DeSantis guy and a Trump guy. I know you're in Florida. What do you support? Who do you support?
Man, if I'm gonna vote, which I don't know if I am, I honestly think I'd vote Trump over DeSantis for president. Even though I love DeSantis as a governor and everything, but I don't want him to be. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if he were president, but he's not going to be president. And right now, I'd rather see Trump, a pissed off Donald Trump, be in office for his second term than see DeSantis kind of, you know, mope around and cater to Israel like he's going to do. I know what Trump's going to do with Israel. I know what DeSantis would do too. I want somebody who's pissed off.
What's Trump going to do with Israel?
Whatever they tell him to.
Right. So that's a non-starter. That's a difference. That's non. There's
right. But what I'm saying, is,
why do you want an 80-year-old man to be president?
How old is he? Is he what, 76?
Oh no, he's at least I think he's at least Biden's age.
Look it up.
I'm gonna
look
look
he's 76.
No, I think he's in the 80s.
Look, I'll take him at 80.
He was born in 1946. So what is that? Someone do the math, quick. Someone did age 77.
Well,
there you
77.
go.
Okay, there we go.
June 14.
Okay, 77. Well, like I said, man, he's gonna be pissed off, and he's gonna be more funny than DeSantis. Like, if that alone, like, we're already gonna be fucked. I might as well see the best possible, like, funny outcome. And like when he was rolling for a while, the economy wasn't so bad. So I don't know if he ran out of time traveler juice or what, but you know, he was going pretty good for a couple years there.
Biden is 80. So there's 4 years different, or what do we say, 77? So 3 years difference.
Yeah.
I think it's all too old. You know, there's a minimum age for being president. Why is there not a maximum age?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, so we can party when they die in office like Feinstein. That's why.
Okay, let's talk about Dianne Feinstein. She died. Well, first of all, Jethro says Josh Smith 2024. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm in some of the discords of his campaign. I don't know how officially involved I am with his campaign. I don't really do anything, but he wanted me to, I guess, shit post every now and then. So that's what I'm there for. I mean, I'd probably vote for Josh. I'm saying as far as, like, you know, viable candidates and whatnot. What is this, Cohibas and Monte Cristos? I mean, sure, like, Cohibas are cool for people that want to have status and smoke depleted soil Cuban cigars. Monte Cristos are pretty good. but I'm cheap, and so I'm smoking Gurkhas and Avos and Olivas. But
Look, Benzo Barbie makes a good point here. I agree. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about cigars. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I know. I understand. She says God King Paul, talking about Dr. Paul, is older, and I'd vote for him any day over these fakes. Look, I saw Dr. Paul at the convention LP in Reno last year, and his mind is exceptional. But he's also never going to run because he's not a narcissist like these guys. So that's that's the problem.
Sure, if I want to make up something like, I want fucking Lemmy Kilmister to run for president, but that's not going to happen either. So like,
so Delta says, hell yeah, shit posting for country. Look, I actually, Josh has sent me stuff. He wants me to shit post for him against Rechtenwald. And honestly, I don't hate Rechtenwald to the point where like, I'm going to call him boring. I'm just like, just step up and show me that you're better than him. If you're a serious candidate, if you're Toad, I get it. And you just want to shit on people because you don't wear your shirt and you put a face mask on and you said, we are all ace. Yes, everyone remembers that, Toad. So you want to do those kind of things, then shit post all you want. But if you actually are going to be a serious president, then I don't really care. Then show me that you're better than a Rechtenwald. Josh is my guy, but I'm not going to shit on Rechtenwald for that. What do you think?
Who has Chad hair, Benzo Barbie? I was reading the comments. I don't know who Rechtenwald is.
Okay, I have Chad hair. Do I? I don't think.
Hell yeah, Jimmy Neutron. Let's fucking go.
Did you see Vivek's hair at the debate the other night?
No, I didn't. I don't watch Indians.
He was at the debate though. I don't know if you didn't see that then.
No,
huh?
I didn't watch that. No, why would I be watching the debate? I hardly watch Tower Gang anymore. Sadly, I watched this past one though, but I did not watch the debate. I've been busy, man. If I'm not like working on all my school stuff, I'm playing with my son, making him laugh. I posted a cute little video tonight of him giggling, and or I'm just smoking and reading.
Okay, what do you think of this?
What is that hair? Oh,
that hair,
Ricky Ricardo over here.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Have you ever seen? And so it reminds me of one thing. I'm gonna go right here. Have you ever seen this? I don't know why I make myself laugh. Let's see if we can do this here. Possibly. Where's
First,
this at?
this is a first. I like being the sober one and making fun of drunk Tyler.
Okay, this is a TV show called Red Dwarf. This is very Vivek, like right there.
Oh.
How's that not him?
Hell yeah, that's like Bill Cosby with Johnny Bravo hair.
Right. Yeah, it's just a first. I mean, I'm not really drunk. I'm saying that, and I'm actually sobering up quite nicely. So
okay. I thought about digging out like a few Budweisers, but I just don't feel like drinking right now. I just like smoking and chilling, man. Right. Give the old liver a vacation before I go ham tomorrow at Oktoberfest.
Nice. So Rechtenwald is a guy. He was a professor, and he was actually a commie at a big university, and he said something that was a no-no. So kind of push him back, and so the students and the administration kind of like went against him. And so the right wing is like 2016, 17. They kind of like caught onto him, and he was like very open and going, and kind of decided he wasn't going to be controlled by the mob, and it made him rethink everything. And next thing you know, he's a libertarian. Okay, writing for the Mises Institute. He's a very smart guy, but he was commie affiliated very recently.
So this is what Caitlin Johnston would be if she was a man and had a brain.
But she's got to then change. I mean, look, he's really embraced everything Mises Institute and Mises Caucus wise. So there's no way she would be that. She's a
like I said, if she was a man.
Well, there's no, because she's still too effeminate. She embraced everything that's like horrible liberal wise. So I get what you're saying. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk about something else.
I was reading the comment. David said peak masculinity would be a Travis and Dickie buddy cop film. I would be so down. I'd be a police officer if I got to work with Travis all day long. That'd be cool.
Right. This would be like other guys. Travis, big guy like Will Ferrell, and you'd be the short little.
Am I short?
Name? I don't know. No, you're not actually.
Damn. I'm about 2 feet taller than 80% of all libertarian men. So.
Right. How tall are you?
About 6 foot, 6'1". If I have boots on, it's a little taller, but which I do now. So.
A nice washer, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I went in. I picked out this back problem, and I went into
it's a dryer,
the
but yeah, good job.
Dryer, sorry. Whatever. I went into the doctor, and they measured my height. I've always been like 6 foot, and I was close to 5'11".
Oh no, that's the worst height, dude. I would just say I'm 5'9".
Because I'm like hunched. I'm like I've got a problem, so I need to correct my. I'm like old enough where I'm losing height. This is not a good thing.
Your plates are shrinking. Yeah. Did your injury have to do with that and making your neck kind of shrink, or maybe go forward a little bit?
I don't know. So yeah, I broke my neck and my back. I don't know if that had something, but I've had I think a disc, and I'm going through therapy and trying to correct my body and my posture so I can come back and get fit again. It's been quite a mess.
Speaking of corrective neck surgeries and stuff, I'm sure you saw my post about Ozzy getting back in the studio and possibly back on the road. He just had a successful surgery.
Let me pose this question to you: who is more with it, Ozzy or Joe Biden? And can you tell your dog to be quiet for a bit?
Ozzy. Hey, shut the fuck up, Bean.
Thank you.
All right, good girl. Ozzy for sure. He just can't talk. But no, like his brain is still there. Sort of like I listened to like his little Osbourne's podcast with his wife and his kids. It's actually pretty funny. And like he's always had trouble speaking and stuff, partly because of Parkinson's and partly just because his drugs have just fucked his tongue up and whatnot. But like he can still think and write pretty good. But like he said he wanted to go back in the studio after he had his successful surgery and write an album, and then as long as his rehab is going well, actually go back and tour a little bit. So I was like, that's cool.
We got it.
But,
Minder says he sent me a Twitter DM about. You're right. I forgot about that. By the way, I thought I was like, I'm ready to be addicted to opioids, whatever I have to do to fix this thing. I went to a friend and she's been working my body over, and it literally feels like it's saving my life. So
nice.
I'm getting better. But Minder, yes, I took your stuff in there. I appreciate that. Should we go back up here through some?
I saw his comment just now. I mean, yeah, and about seeing him in concert. Which one? I've never gotten to see him in concert. I really wish I could go back in time and do that. But yeah, in concert, obviously his health and his spine is so messed up he can barely stand and sing. But I will say his last album actually was pretty good because he had a lot of good guitarists on there that really carried it. But the songs were pretty cool. I think it went #1 on the rock charts, but I'm gonna look further up in the chat.
Minder said, "Did you?" I mean,
a lot did. Hell yeah.
Do you listen to the Radio Rothbard episode that eviscerates the post-libertarians' take on the classical liberalism? I listened to that one. I haven't checked that one out. I will do so. Rechtenwald isn't inspiring at all. No.
Hi, Lorenzo.
Josh missed my strong preference. Okay. Benzo Barbie, always strong takes from her. Jesus, I went.
Well,
hello. There you go. I went to Discord for 2 fucking minutes and Chad is popping LOL.
Chad is popping.
Which Discord? Is this the one where the the Navy guy is selling secrets, or the porn one? Which one is she talking about?
Oh my gosh! Somebody invite me to the Navy one, not the porn one. I want the Navy gay orgy instead.
Are you full paleo libertarian these days? Then David, similar to Tho. I saw David getting worked over today by Pete Quinones. So
I thought you were gonna say Martha Bueno.
Possibly.
Do it be snipping, Martha?
She. By the way, she's so dry. You know that that bitch is. She's so stupid.
Hard shell taco.
She went on only on Timcast, and she's like, I'm the only female politician or only politician to run a campaign on OnlyFans, and like, oh shit. And she's like, it was all PG, and I'm like, okay, then why does it matter that you're on OnlyFans? Why does it matter unless you're like showing your tits?
Is it really just PG? Yeah, squirting.
She wasn't doing any of that. She wasn't doing any of that stuff. So there
was no squirting. Damn.
Tyler Lorenzo says, Tyler, why don't I work your body? Because you're, I don't know, a teenager and I'm an adult.
I'm actually like a very good masseuse. That's why I got into the physical therapy field of study, anyways, or at least I'm trying to. I can fix a back pretty good. I wish I could clone myself because my back is always fucked.
I'm going. My friend does what's called Bowen therapy. Have you heard of that?
What is that? I might have.
It's I guess it's pretty it's more sought after in Australia for some reason.
Sorry.
No, it's great. It's
Australia.
It makes for great. So basically, what you think of, like, you go to massage therapy, right? All the painful stuff that you might do, that's what it is. So she takes the fascia and she tries to separate it and make sure, I've got a lot of, like, I don't have good flexibility, or your muscles are kind of all, the fascia is kind of all glued together. It's almost like one part. So she really tries to separate this all. And when you're done, it really hurts, and it hurts the whole time you're there. But after, several weeks, it's amazing what it's been doing. So
I like keeping my fascism intact, but it sounds effective.
Did you check out my interview with Pete by any chance?
I'm sorry, man. I did not. How was it? I saw like a couple seconds of it because I was just glancing through YouTube or whatever, but
right.
I have to
It looks
check
like
it
you're
later.
having trouble lighting that cigar.
Yeah, so like Gurkhas are good. They taste great, but every once in a while I'll get a few of them and they're not wrapped very well and they'll canoe on you. So, but they're like, when I get them, they're like $5 a piece. The way it kind of averages out.
Okay, so David says, I'm not even sure I'm still libertarian these days. I'm just an Austrian and have no idea what political beliefs anymore. Okay, so he's basically like trans. That's great. Benzo says, always porn. Don't know what that means. Porn is always the answer. That's said from a single person. You need to get out more. You diddle yourself maybe a little bit, or have someone watch you and it'll change. I don't know what this is saying. I don't know if Benzo, that C word was literally just reading the Constitution in pajamas and changing.
We can't say that on the stream.
I don't know. I
was about to say it earlier.
I can't keep up.
Talking about Martha Windows OnlyFans.
Tyler,
apparently Benzo was subscribed to it.
I got two Pink Floyd posters.
Okay.
So you got a
Pink Floyd.
What do you think? Pink Floyd pre or post Roger Waters, or both, or is it like Van Halen with?
That's the thing. Like everybody, all the good Van Halen songs were like David Lee Roth, but he was still good. They were. Well, I mean, like the ones that the normies know is what I'm saying. But like they still made awesome music with Sammy.
5150 OU812. I think those were.
I like Sammy. I like Sammy Hagar a lot. I mean, I really do. I think he was like. I think David is a little weird, but
of course.
By the way, Pink Floyd. What? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if it's always amazing to me. Groups come out and like their first album, and you listen to Van Halen,
yeah,
absolutely just crushed.
First
album, and you're just like, oh my god, it just hit after hit. Or not necessarily hit, but it's just amazing songs. Crazy talent.
Benzo is correct. Sammy Hagar is more talented by far. He was less drugged up too.
Exactly. Sorry. Less drugged up. Listening to him talk about creating some of the songs, about how he was developing them in his mind, you can tell he actually had one to work with. And so, by the way, so Pink Floyd, Roger Waters, pre or post Roger Waters? I like
with Roger Waters. I saw David was ranking their albums the other day, so I had to do some of my own research there. What is it? I'm pre-water. Wish you were here. Yeah, this thing. I like both of those a lot. I like Wish You Were Here better, probably. But yeah, Pink Floyd, man, it's the best thing to listen to while you're smoking for sure.
I don't smoke. I don't really do that, but I've turned off the lights and just laid there and listened to Dark Side of the Moon, and it's fabulous.
Puts you to sleep, yeah. So I started taking the page out of David's book and actually started going and ranking Sabbath albums. I did that whole thread about Sabotage, and I ranked up to ones that I liked, and then once I started ranking them higher, I went and did single threads for each album. Yes, that was the most autistic thing I've ever done, but it was pretty fun. Had a nice little analysis there.
By the way,
I don't know if you saw it, but
no, I didn't, but I should probably check it out. Momentary Lapse of Reason, by the way, it was the first album after Roger Waters, and Roger Waters panned it. He said it was trash. Yet it's one of my favorite albums, and it's kind of gooby, I guess. But
I gotta go back and listen to it.
David Gilmour and his wailing guitar, I don't know. He really is one of my favorites. So that to me, I enjoy that kind of stuff, but I enjoy the whole panoply of all this.
Well, that's the funny thing. A lot of bands, when they replace somebody big, they'll make an album, and a lot of times that next album is actually pretty good, or at least it'll have some strong songs on it, like. What? Van
Halen brought in, I'm trying to remember the guy's name, and he was from he did the song More Than Words, which was a 90s classic. And then he came into Van Halen, and he had one album with him, and they were horrible. I'm trying to remember his name. Gary Sharon. Gary Sharon, there you go. So it doesn't always work that way.
Well, like what Motley Crue made when they had John Corabi for a couple albums after they fired Vince. The Motley Crue album wasn't that bad. I mean, it had a couple songs that sucked on there, but like Uncle Jack and Power to the Music were pretty cool songs. And they were trying to be like Pantera or Alice in Chains. They were trying to go heavier with like a different voice. They were going, 2 guitars now because Corabi could play guitar. And it was different. They were trying to get into that kind of like heavier grunge, whatever sound. And it was okay. The next album, kind of got sabotaged by the label. They didn't really like Corabi, and they brought Vince in, and they just fucking put something out, and we're going to fire him. But, I know obviously Black Sabbath, they had 2 really good albums with Dio after they fired Ozzy.
You're really an
Van
Ozzy
Halen
fan, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Why is that?
Just because I don't know. I always have listened to his music and stuff, and I'm like,
who got you into music? Into that? Did you have a parental influence? Was it just yourself?
No, they don't like the devil's music, man. Okay. I just like. I mean, I don't know why. I honestly just started listening to it, and I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. And like I've recently gotten back into the stuff I started listening to before. Like I've been listening to a lot more of Ozzy and Sabbath because. Like I had surgery on my ears, and now I can actually hear a lot of shit better. So stuff I listened to before that I liked, I just listen to it nonstop because it's like, oh shit, I can hear like the drums or the bass a lot better, or I can hear different heavier sounds of the guitar better because like my ears fucking finally work. So
David says he likes at least 3 songs of Momentary Lapse. I love On the Turning Away. That's
such a great solo. Oh my god.
Yeah. And look, you and I, we're big fans of like Comfortably Numb. I can't say it. Guitars there. And what I love most about the one on the wall with Whitey, whatever his name is, the 2, Roger Waters does the live on the wall with the bunch of celebrities, is the almost guitar play back and forth. One does, and then another does it, and they're like it's almost like the banjo back and forth playing against each other. It's fantastic, and I love that kind of guitar wailing that you have with it's just seminal with Roger Waters. Great
Lorenzo, that was Randy Castillo. Yeah, that was him on No More Tears.
By the way, Justin says Friday night Drunkcasting helped it. Yeah, I did a Saturday night one once with him and his wife. Got so hammered. We did like 5-hour podcast just hanging out. My wife was off in town. I was like able to just do it. She got so drunk. It was fantastic. Justin has a great wife. A lot of fun there. So yeah, good.
Nice.
What else? We got? Okay.
So got in the chat.
I don't understand your age and like in Black Sabbath. It doesn't make any sense.
Dude, I just love heavy shit, man. I love guitars. I love heavy sound. I mean,
have you progressed? Do you like anything new?
Weird. Like how new are we talking? Like current?
Anything
like,
in since
so like the current music I listen to a lot that I like is like country music, like not new like pop country, but like Coulter Wall and Jackson Dean and guys like that that are actually like country dudes and don't suck ass.
Lorenzo's asked me this before. I don't like necessarily either one of those. They're not necessarily either great song. Pigs.
I'm not the biggest fan of animals. I'll be honest. Like,
no,
I don't know.
I'm not either.
It doesn't get done for me.
No, it's never been my favorite. The Wall has always been a great one. Like I said, Momentary Lapse Reason, Division Bell. I love those. A lot of the before Wish You Were Here. I mean, the seminal stuff I just love. Yeah. And you know what? I've actually loved David Gilmour, a lot of his solo stuff. I don't know if you've checked any of that out. But
other than the Ukraine propaganda, yeah, it's pretty cool.
right. They've had a division between that.
Yeah.
I've then gone from liking them to a real big fan of Muse, who I think is kind of a contemporary style.
Yeah, we talked about this one time I was on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's what it is. Music is really interesting. When you're all like what, 27?
25.
Oh shit!
Can't believe 25. I'm getting old music shamed by a 60-year-old on my music taste here.
No, it's perfectly fine. By the way, this is what my son is 22, and all my kids. What the you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm good, dude. I don't give a fuck. I'll shoot him.
I don't know what that was. It sounded like someone was in the bathroom. What was that?
Damn, that'd be fucking serious. Yeah, some dude was like racing down the street or something.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So my kids are young, and I what I decided to do with them was, and I suggest this for all parents out there with young kids, you indoctrinate them on your music. Okay.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I've done that completely. My kids, my son will come home and he'll listen to my music, all of them. But then because they're always gonna get and glom onto their friends' music and the stuff that they like. You know, so my kids are into country music now or whatever it is. But they still have that touch of what I like. So it's enriched them, I feel. Like you going back to Black Sabbath. I mean, that is unusual. You've got to admit that, right?
I mean, yeah, but like a lot of dudes that like have jobs like I have, like in construction or like warehouse or other things like that, they listen to like classic rock too. So Tyler's kids are Dickie's age. Yeah, pretty much. He could be my dad for sure. Justin's a grandpa. He's fucking old as shit. Honestly, that's one thing that really that might have originally gotten me into like classic rock and metal, probably just from work, job sites and shit. I think that might have been it. The more I think about it, because like if say we're out in the middle of nowhere working on a house or doing whatever we're doing, shit. There goes my fucking AC unit right behind me.
I thought your wife was flushing a toilet.
Is that loud? Because I didn't think about that. Anyway, so if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you can't get like a Wi-Fi signal and play your Spotify, then you turn on the fucking classic rock station. And that's, I guess when I was younger, that's how I learned all that. Probably how it went.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this is what's so interesting. And we talked about that. I don't know if I talked about, I do this with you, but the Oliver Anthony just bought, the whole the issue with that, taking him on and like trashing him. Even Tom Woods did that. It's just, I feel it's like unnecessary. It's like, it's just music.
It's just the Yankee mindset. They have to do that. They have to not mind their business and shit on us. Thank you, Lorenzo. Lorenzo said he loves my mustache.
Okay.
I'm Lemmy maxing now, so
okay.
Just gonna shave off the chin.
How's your wife feel about all that?
She fucking hates it. She hates my long hair. She hates my fucking mustache. It's all good. I'm keeping it. I don't give a damn.
All right. What do you give into for your wife to make sure that she understands that you love her still?
No, I'm cutting it off.
I'm not telling you to cut your hair. I'm just saying
no. That's what I'm saying. Like that's it. I told her I would do it. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet.
Okay. I'm not telling you
that's my trick.
Bad. My youngest, his hair is much like yours. He doesn't have a mustache, but his girlfriend seems to like it. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
I'm just lazy, and I don't know. No, I wash the dishes sometimes. I take care of my son. I take good care of him. I cook. I've been grilling a fuck ton since I've been a dad. I think that's just a dad thing. What is this? Bring David on the stream if you're down. I'm interested in hearing his perspective.
Okay.
Are we gonna bring some youth onto the show?
Sure. Why not? I sent you a request there or an invite there, Dave. I don't know what I'm inviting him about, but
Pink Floyd, I guess. I don't know. Old Jethro Tull wants to hear about that, I guess.
What do you know much about Porcupine Tree?
No. What is that?
It's a group I found. A friend had sent me. They kind of like. My understanding was they were just like this group that kind of like was a fake group. I don't even know what that means, but then they became kind of a hit, and they're kind of a prog rock, and I absolutely love them. They've got great music. They're really talented. Here, as a matter of fact,
thank you, Benzo. Thank you.
What'd she say?
Long hair.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry, I'm ADHD. I'm interrupting you again.
Here's a song by them. I don't know if you can hear that. It's good stuff. This is from their Dead Wing album.
Hell yeah! I feel like I'm back in sneaking around the high school hallway in 2006.
Right. I like a lot. I like what's interesting is I've never been a depressed person, but I've always
Must
loved.
be nice.
Yeah. Well, okay. Thank you. But I've always loved like depressing music, like the Cure, the Smiths, this kind of stuff. Pink Floyd, where you're like, basically like all the lights are off and you have your drink in a bag and you're. All that kind of music, but it's never made me sad myself. And so for some reason, it's something that I enjoy. Those depressing, heartbreak, romantic songs too. I enjoy them because it's just not my life.
I'm always sad. It's great.
Okay.
No, I've had so many damn concussions that they say it supposedly causes depression and alcoholism. I don't know what either of those are, so I should be fine.
What do you think about Moody Blues? By the way, I like Moody Blues. I have one of their albums, Cold Hearted Orb That Rules the Night. That's one of their songs. Oh shit, we got David here. I'm not sure I like David's new haircut.
Nikki B. Les Tisme. That's impossible. Sorry.
Unmute yourself. There you go.
Well, howdy, gentlemen.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
A Florida import.
I'm a Florida import for now. What do I have to do to become a Florida man?
Wrestle an alligator.
Okay, gotcha. I'm told there's a 12-footer in the lake near me, so.
That's an instant Florida card right there, so go for it.
Yeah.
How are you doing? How's college treating you?
Oh, it's going pretty good. I mean, there's definitely not a bunch of libertarians around me, but that's not a change at all from home in the slightest. My professor's very Austrian friendly, so that's great. But otherwise it's warm here, which is nice. Like, it's really nice to be able to like walk outside at 8 o'clock at night and it actually be warm instead of absolutely freezing. And there's not a whole lot of mosquitoes around here either.
You came from Minnesota, right?
Minnesota is correct. Yeah.
Right, Minnesota cold, as they call it. So had you ever lived anywhere else than above the equator, or actually the northern part of the United States?
I have not lived south. I have not lived south of the Mason-Dixon line. No.
Oh, okay, Mason-Dixon line. So so you've got a totally different. I grew up in the Northwest, then I moved out to Colorado, and now I'm in Northern California. But for the most part, we don't have snow here, the mountains are right there, but not in my house. So yes, what do you think of this different kind of? You can see the intoxicating benefits, right, of kind of like good weather all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I really hate the snow. I hate the cold a lot. So I love the heat, and so like if I could live anywhere, like I would love to live in like Alabama, because it's the thing about Florida is it has like the hot, but it also has the humid. But I like the hot but not humid. Like when I was in Auburn for 2 weeks. Like,
Alabama's hot and humid too, dude.
Not in Auburn. At least not in Auburn.
There's a reason why San Diego is the shit. Right? It's like 70 degrees all the time. It's amazing.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I mean, I'm never moving to California. I don't hate myself enough for that.
Tell you what, David. Here in the Panhandle is very close to Alabama. and I'm on the beach, so it's not as humid because you get a nice breeze all the time.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
So tell me, you said your professor. What are you taking? What have you declared a degree? What are the classes
I'm
you're taking?
studying. So I'm planning on double majoring economics and finance. So got a lot on my plate. I transferred with a lot of college credit already because I did the do all the college classes you can in high school thing that they want you to do these days. And so I'm going to double major in those and hopefully graduate with a bachelor's of science and economics and finance. You know, all the fun stuff.
Dickie, did you double major?
No, but I called one of my classmates a cunt today.
Okay. Have you, David? Have you called any of your classmates a cunt?
No, but I have argued with a professor already.
All right, so let's hear about that. What class, first of all, is it?
So it was there's like an honors program, and as part of that, you got to take certain like writing and like speaking courses and everything. And so we're writing about issues, and for some reason we were talking about Elon Musk and whether or not the government or the free market should go and whether they should like manage space travel and everything. And I just started arguing with the teacher about, oh no, politicians don't have like actual price signals for what they should do or not do. It's like, 4 years is a pretty big gap, and prices change pretty, all this like economics, libertarian garbage stuff. And I just was arguing with my professor. I've also argued with her about grammar stuff because she'll be like,
wait, you said her?
Yeah, her. So
okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
No, but I've also kind of argued with her about grammar stuff because she wants us doing like weird grammar assignment crap, and so people will give answers that sound absolutely correct.
Yeah.
But then she'll be like, that's not what I'm looking for. And so she said that to me, and I was like, well, it still sounds correct. I'm pretty sure it is right, even if it's not the one in the book. And I just would not drop it until she conceded that mine was correct. So,
damn, you're going to get a bad grade. Good job.
I probably will. I mean, she really liked one of my essays already, so maybe I won't. We'll see.
My literature teacher caught me in the girls' bathroom one time.
Did you say, look, everything I wrote on the wall was grammatically correct? For a good time? No? Benzo says, why are you listening? I don't know, this isn't grammatically correct. Why are listening to women who aren't your mother? Yeah.
Excellent advice. What was I going to say? Oh, I'm on year 6 of college right now.
Yeah, you're going back. So what's up with that? Look, I did a double major. I did engineering and math, and then didn't really use it very much. Went back for law. Finished that up. So I've gone back as an older person. What are you going back for, Dickie? What's your psychology, wokeism? What is it?
Similar field, basically same field. So I got my bachelor's in pre-physical therapy. Basically with that one, you have to go from that to grad school or PT school, and you can be a PT.
Right.
Well, I didn't have the grades for PT school, so I figured I would get some work experience. It's been hard getting that as like a tech or whatever because they want to hire like high school kids all the time that are going to college, and they're not really interested in like older people who went through college apparently, because that's what I've been finding. They've been hiring a lot of high school kids.
So same study, just you're getting more education to be.
Well, a different one. So what I want to do is be a physical therapy assistant, PTA, which makes pretty good money, but
yeah,
not great, but it's still pretty good. But with my 4-year degree, I can't do that. I have to get a specific 2-year degree for PTA for that, which is stupid. So that's what I'm doing now.
Justin got a 2.2, solid. Jethro says, what was the essay, David?
It was like they wanted you to write, so like they say the theme of the course is possession, and they wanted you to write like a story about a possession. So I wrote about my Bible, and for some reason she liked that. So
I would write about my demonic possession.
I mean, if it floats your boat, dude.
It doesn't.
There you go. Let me ask, David, let me ask you this. Why were you joining in with Toad's hatred of Colorado? University of Colorado, CU.
Because
alumnus,
they beat TCU week 1. They beat TCU week 1.
My favorite football player.
Okay.
I'm so sick. I'm just sick of hearing about him. Like, honestly, he needed to be humbled a little bit.
Who's he?
You would have hated the 90s.
Deion Sanders. Probably.
Okay. So, look, as someone who I went to University of Colorado for grad school, okay? CU, as we call it there. And their football team, I think it was in '94, they won the national championship or close to there with, but by the way, that was Eric Bieniemy, 5 downs. They had, it was a fucked up call. They didn't call a 4th down. They called it, and so they had an extra, and they scored a touchdown. They don't win much. I'm just putting that out there. They don't win much, so it's okay that they're getting this. Toad hates them more than anything. He lost a bet week 1. Why are you jumping on the Toad bandwagon? That's what I'm asking.
I mean, I disliked Deion before. I mean, I guess I didn't know Toad's take because I don't watch Toad's betting show. And so I guess I didn't realize he had such a hatred. I just think it's everyone that isn't a Colorado fan is irritated and sick of hearing about Deion Sanders so much because, like, ESPN is just gargling his balls right now. And everyone's just sick of hearing
Not anymore.
Well, yeah, I guess after
Kelsey.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Also, because Oregon really humbled them. And so, I mean, I've just been sick of hearing about them ever since week 1 because they managed to pull off a win because our TCU's defense didn't do good. It didn't do its job.
Listen. Tyler likes prime time because he was a 49er. I like him because he left an HBCU high and dry. We're not the same.
No, I don't really care. Look, you're right. He was a 49er. I'm not a huge prime fan. I think what's interesting about him, look, he's bringing in the black vote, so people like that. He is a positive.
Are you saying football didn't already have that vote?
Not in Colorado. Trust me, not in Colorado. Okay,
not until they legalize weed.
Right. It's in Boulder. It's very white of all the whites. As they say, Boulder, Colorado. It's more of a state of mind than a place. But I think he's a positive guy, so I don't really have a problem. And I've been excited. But more importantly, here is Toad's betting video playlist here. So starts off, he's got 37 views, 20.
What is this?
10,
this
10 13, 16, 9, 6, 8, 3 views on this one, 6 views, 4 views, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 5,
whoa,
7,
Ooh.
5, 7, 26 for Chicago White Sox in Detroit. 23 for the White Sox and Detroit Tigers again.
Y'all are making me do the cigarette
16,
name.
39, 24, 39, 20, 12, 17 people were included. 5, 8.
At least he's alive.
Yeah. Has he actually stopped gambling, or does he still do the gambling and he does this now?
Jesus. So he is. I don't know what's going on. So that's what we have with this website. Not many people are watching that. That's my
Justin.
Okay.
Justin, Prime won a ring with Niners. It counts. Fuck you.
Wait, what's going on in the chat besides?
He said Prime being a Niner doesn't count. He was only there for like a year or so or whatever. He won a chip.
Yeah, he was in the '95 team, right? When they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, sure, he was on the Cowboys and the Falcons. He's probably known for the Falcons more, but he was a Niner. He won a ring. It counts.
Right, David. Let me ask you a question. You're in Minnesota. You now go to Florida. You're a college boy. You're away from home. What is that experience like for you?
I mean, I don't know. I drove down here by myself, so that was actually a pretty nice drive. I mean, I got somebody let me stay at their house in Missouri, and then I managed to talk my way into actually renting a room at a Holiday Inn in Georgia, because for some reason they can't give me one since I'm not 21.
Right.
And so I managed to do that. It was a nice enough drive, but I don't know. It's nice kind of having my own place and everything. I have a roommate, but he's like very... He's great. Like,
is he watching
he's very,
you right now?
Clean.
Is he sitting on the bed just
no,
watching
actually, he left for a trip, and so that's why I was able to hop on to this.
Because that would be awkward.
He would be in bed right now.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, my roommate's he's clean. He's not like some party animal, which I would prefer having like kind of a bit of a neat freak to a party animal. And so like I don't know, it's been good.
And what college is it? Are you able to say? You're a fan of TCU. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, I'm a TCU fan, but I'm not
Why?
going to TCU.
Why?
So there's this great guy. His name's Connor Mortel, and I met him at Mises. Like you might know him as like the natural authority guy on Twitter. He's like a big DeSantis guy. He's like one of the Catholic
Did he
DeSantis
groom you?
Austrian guy. No,
That's how he got that
wishes, but
hotel
he
room.
didn't. I'm just a little too old for Connor, to be honest.
Okay.
But he went to TCU, and so I didn't have my college does not have a football team, so I can root for a relevant team. And so he just recruited me basically to be a TCU fan, and so I've become a bandwagon fan, I guess.
Okay, I totally look. I went to a college before I went to grad school that didn't have that kind of thing anyway. So I was like, I lived in the Northwest, so it was like the Oregon teams or the Washington teams, and then I see you now. So I get it. I get it. When you're homeless, in a sense, you've got to pick something. TCU.
I mean, I still don't have an NFL team, so I could still be groomed to choose whichever NFL team. So.
Gotcha. Sorry, Dickie. Do you hear that? My dogs are barking. Sorry.
Is the movie on? Is that why your dogs are barking?
They're black.
Are they barking on speakerphone?
No. They're not.
Tyler is under the impression I own an army of pit bulls because I live in Florida. So.
Do you have a pit bull?
No, I don't have a pit bull.
You're always defending them as if you have pit bulls. Why are you defending them if you don't have pit bulls?
Wasn't your neighbor's dog a pit bull? Was that it?
No. My old roommate, she had an American bulldog that everybody thought was a pit bull. And he was my buddy. He was my best friend. I would walk him everywhere. But no, he's not a pit. Bean she's a beagle, and we think she might have some red-nosed pit in her based on how her head and her muscles look, but it's not enough to know, so it doesn't matter.
Have you done a DNA test?
I'm not doing a DNA test on a rescue mutt. No.
We did it on our rescues, and it's fantastic.
Fucking broke.
That's what lawyer money can do for you.
Yeah,
you can afford to just pay
it's
for
literally
a
like
DNA test for a dog.
$15. It's worth it because then you can
in this
shame
economy,
them.
Tyler. In this economy.
But anyway, to answer Tyler's question about the pit bulls, so Tyler acts like I'm spurging out like Toad does. Every time the pit bull conversation comes up, Toad is like, it's always 1,000%. I like pit bulls. I don't love the pit bull dog, but like I also know what a pit bull is because it's not just a boxy headed fucking dog. Like it's a American pit bull terrier. So all the people that have like a pitty or whatever that snuggles with their baby, it's usually like a fucking Staffordshire or something like that. Most people I know that actually have American pit bull terriers, they're hyper as fuck and they're fun to play with, but they're also kind of annoying and not a dog that I would leave around my son. That being said,
like pit bulls are basically Michael Jackson. Okay, you're like,
okay,
maybe he diddled kids. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I'm not going to risk having him around my children just because this pit bull may or may not bite the genitalia or the face of my child. Maybe. I don't leave my dogs unattended with my son, and they're sweet.
That's
so
just a
like,
no-go regardless of the.
I don't let them lick his face or anything. Like they'll lick his body. I don't let them lick his face, but because I just don't want their teeth scraping him or whatever the fuck. But like a lot. Obviously, ownership plays a part in a dog, but also a lot of pit bull terriers, a lot of them had bad bloodlines for whatever reason of breeding, if they wanted to make fighting dogs or they had hunting dog bloodlines that they didn't really end up taming to be house dogs or whatever, that can be bred out. And I think a lot of American bullies and XL bullies and other kinds of those bully breeds are bred pretty well to get the aggression out, but sometimes they don't. So it is what it is. I'm objective about it.
I'm with you there. I thought I'd show you this real quick. These are my dogs.
Dickie hears his dogs like black people hear smoke detectors. I hear my fucking dogs.
This is our dog right after. It was amputated, and look at it, cruising around with 3 legs, just fine.
So
tripod dogs
so if
are
it goes
happy
after
dogs.
your kids, you just gotta like sweep the leg or whatever. And it just falls
this one would never go after. These dogs don't go after it. They're well behaved.
That's the thing. Dogs that have had a leg amputated are always like super happy dogs. I think because they realize, oh yeah, it could be a lot worse. I'm at least alive. Like they're kind of just loping around and all happy.
You know, Cole has that wiener dog with like that's missing the 2 back legs, or they just don't work. And so what you do is use like like the little clamps they put on like cars to stop them from moving. Like you put one of those on the dog's wheel.
Jeez, that's rough.
A boot,
That's
yeah. I was
boot,
last time I was watching their dogs there at my house, and when I'd let him out, Ollie was the one with a hurt back. I'd have to put like a little harness on him and like pick up his back legs so he could run around like a wheelbarrow race, run around on his 2 legs. Because he can scoot with his butt on the floor and stuff, but you don't want him to do that in the yard because sometimes, because the way his central nervous system is whacked, his dick will get erect and just start flopping around all the way out, and it'll scratch on the grass. So you got to pick him up so his dick doesn't drag.
That's somewhat disturbing. Why are we?
Well, I'm not touching his dick. I'm not Israel Adesanya. I'm a Sean Strickland fan, dude. I don't molest dogs.
I don't know if I believe that.
Okay,
I
don't
mean,
give a fuck.
I can speak on the pit bull thing because I grew up around pit bulls. Legitimately, my dad's first dog was a pit bull, and then I grew up around like 3 or 4 pit bulls throughout my life.
So when you say your dad's first dog, so this is before. What do you mean, your dad's first dog?
So when my dad turned 18, he adopted a pit bull named Paco. And
so
Paco was his best friend in the world.
You just heard about this. This isn't something you've experienced.
No, because Paco was alive until I was like.
Thank you, Justin. 8. Happens all the time.
So I mean. But like Paco was around until I was 8, and then one of my current dogs back home is a pit bull. His name's Clyde. He's a total coward. If you move too quickly towards him, he'll pee on the floor and run away. But like it's very much based on like the bloodline because bad dogs breed bad dogs. Like we got a dog a while ago from like this, just frankly like definitely like white trash, but not in the good way, like the beats his dogs kind of way. That one of those guys. And that was an aggressive dog. That dog got put down because those dogs have signs. So there are certain people who shouldn't be pit bull owners, and there are certain pit bulls that need to be put down because they're just naturally aggressive, and you're not going to whip that out of them. Really.
Yeah, some of them are just lemons. Like they're not going to do anything good at all.
Yeah, but then occasionally you can find some gems, and the thing is that you need to find the right pit bulls.
Like
really.
for me, if I'm going to get another dog that isn't a rescue, I'm going to purchase of one, and I was saving up for a new Rottweiler puppy, but like that can do the job that I want better than a pit bull can, like protecting the house and whatever. If I want a hunting dog, I'll get something different than a pit bull because they're just dogs that do better than that. Like pit bulls are super sweet and they make really good rescue dogs and companion dogs sometimes, but if I'm gonna get like a specialty dog for a certain thing, then it wouldn't be a pit. But they're cool. I mean, I like them. I don't have anything against them.
Yeah.
I grew up around pit bulls too. Like, I've had to fight some that were mean, and some of them are super snuggly. They're cool.
So look, while we're doing this here, I just ordered 2 bags of coffee. By the way, while we're sitting here,
we go.
So you can
Plugged.
do too. And I even use my own promo code review.
Could I take a picture of your credit card information real quick so that way I can order some Fox and Sons coffee?
No, you can't because I didn't show it on there. But I ordered some of the honey drip and the Ethiopian. So you can
honey drip sounds like me after my last trip to Mexico.
See, Fox and Son coffee is so good that I was able to throw a bag at a pit bull attacking a toddler, and it was managed to dislodge them. It's that good, guys.
All right, let's get to some of these questions here. Never got dogs. I don't know what you're talking about. Women. How woke is your college, David? I'm curious about the state of their indoctrination these days. And by the way, before you do this, I've got 3 kids in college, okay? These kids, I'm not even worried about their... Matter of fact, my son called me today and he's like, look, he's up in the Northwest. He's in Portland and he's going to hike up Mount St. Helens tomorrow, which blew up as a... in 1980
he's just giving away his catalytic converter?
By the way, he has a truck that got stolen. Anyway, got it back, whatever.
Oh, is that the one he restored or he worked on?
Yes, he restored. It got stolen. He got it. The police found it. They returned it to him, and he did all the work on it himself. And he actually made about $6,000 on it. So it was a good deal because they totaled it. He bought it back. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's telling me, he's like, look, we're going up to Mount St. Helens tomorrow. These 2 people in our group chat, they're total liberals. And he goes, it really has nothing to do with the story other than they're just annoying. And he goes, and it makes sense. So I'm not worried about my kids. My kids are fine. They're going to be thought criminals. No big deal. David, what is your take? Because I'm actually assuming that you going to college, a woke college isn't going to affect you other than instill more of your indoctrinated viewpoints in you, and maybe you're going to convince some other people. Ready, go.
I mean, so I don't know that my college is like incredibly woke at all. I mean, there's like an allies group. There's like, you know, the LGBTQ people or whatever. And so they do whatever. I don't interact with them. I try my best to avoid them and not interact with them. Being Catholic and all, I think they probably appreciate that. So I mean, obviously professors like in the humanities and stuff are going to have more of like a liberal bent to them. But like where I am in like the business building, everyone seems very like open-minded. Like my professor, my academic advisor, he's very Austrian friendly. So I'm not dealing with a lot of that stuff. I mean, it's not like an overbearing thing. It's not like we're being taught, it's not like we're forced to go to seminars where they're like, cast away your sin of whiteness or whatever or anything. It's not like they're doing that at all. And I don't think they could do that in the state of Florida anyways. Yeah. And so, I mean, it's not been that bad in my opinion. I just think, honestly, I don't even see like a kid who's like mild, like the only thing that people around here really hate is the Young Americans for Freedom group. And that's like, you know, the boomer Ben Shapiro types. And I hate them anyways because they're just boomers.
I'm Austrian friendly too. I like to cosplay as a 1930s Hugo Boss model.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Said I too am Austrian friendly. I like to cosplay as a 1930s Hugo Boss model.
Right. Okay. Lorenzo breaks out his dating preference. There we go. What else we got here? Austrian friendly is encouraging to you. Yeah. I mean, you know what's interesting? Like I was talking about, like you listen to a lot of right wing, and even the Trump influence is kind of pushing some of the libertarian crossover. I mean, it's still not, but yet there's some of that, like the anti-war, some of the pushing the Fed stuff. You know, it's an interesting dynamic to hear.
With all the cultural woke crap and everything, I mean, Hillsdale's becoming very big, and Hillsdale has like an Austrian economics program and everything. They have classes. They have like a 2-semester course on Austrian economics and everything.
They had a scholarship or something there, right? Like for years, they've had like it's been the Austrian center, so to speak.
So you're probably thinking George Mason University. GMU is the big.
There was something
Austrian
about Hillsdale years ago where they had a center there, and they were getting. It was. I didn't even think it was like related to Rothbard. Specifically there, and then something happened and it was taken away. Anyway, but yeah,
they have Mises's collection there.
Okay, maybe
that's what you're thinking. But George Mason is like the big one that people think about when like they talk about like Austrian schools, because they have all of like the Hayekians, like Peter Betke, all those guys there at GMU. So GMU is like, they're very much like kind of like the lefty beltway libertarian types. Otherwise, like if you want Austrian professors, you're gonna have to go look scattered throughout wherever. Obviously, places like Grove City College. Then Hillsdale kind of sits in this weird like middle ground between like, you know, the Rothbardians that all hang out at Grove City, and then the GMU types. Like Hillsdale's right in the middle there. So
Barbie says, wasn't Hillsdale rife with diddling?
I don't know. All I know is they're a Yankee.
She's the diddling expert,
college.
so
right. She's like, I'm there. What's that Grove one, David? Yeah, Grove City.
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. What would David and Dickie, please chime in on this as well. What's your take of Ryan Dawson? Ready to go.
I think he is a sad, strange little man who has a boogeyman that he wants to ascribe to everything. He might be right on like one or two things, but it's not everything. And
here's the thing with his boogeyman: he doesn't go hard enough.
I just think he's kind of a dick, and he's annoying, and I don't like him. So
he's
I'm
an
all
angry
for the lobster
autist.
like tearing into him. So
well, you guys heard what I said about him when I came on Tyler's show last.
No, I didn't even remember.
I was pretty fucking drunk. I don't know. I called him a bunch of names and shit. I don't remember exactly what I said. I was shirtless in my flower bed when I said that.
What cracks me up is Dave Smith goes and debates Nick Fuentes, right? We watch this thing on.
I know where this is going.
What an absolute clown.
And what was the
Not
guy's
Dave.
name? It was what's his name? That Ricadus had some issues with. Anyway.
Shoot, like the Killstream guy.
No, I'm not. Maybe
Because he's the one who hosted it. Shoot, I'm trying to remember.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's the guy that hosted it. And he got punched out in like Europe last year or something like that. Anyway, so he's on there, and Dave is talking about people being canceled, or Nick is talking about being canceled, and Ryan Dawson just loses his shit because Dave did not mention him, and that's his whole thing is like, I'm sorry, I'm talking with Nick Fuentes has been canceled, but he's upset that you're like, whoa, Nick, have you heard of Ryan Dawson? Ryan Dawson has been canceled as well. That's so stupid. And
it's the meme I made of like the empty urinals, and the guy walks up to the one next to you, and it's Ryan Dawson. He goes, "Hey, did you know I've been banned from every platform and had my online banking shut down in America?" It's like every chance to get. He's Mariah Carey at Christmas time. Every time the USS Liberty or cancellation gets brought up, cancel culture, whatever the fuck. He's like, "Hey, did you know?" I won't say it's all the Jews because I'm too scared to say that, but certain ones of them have banned me. It's like, all right, dude, if you're gonna start doing that, just go hard in the paint and say it, and then stop crying.
AB said it was Ethan Ralph. Yes, exactly who it was.
Yeah, he's the Killstream guy. But like, I think the more appropriate meme is like, the one where it's like Dawson is that one guy. And he's like, I feel bad for you, and Dave Smith's like, I don't think about you at all.
Honestly, yeah. Right. And then the ridiculous thing that he said about Dave a couple years ago was the reason Dave gets so much traction and so much exposure is because it's a psyop, because he's an anarchist, and they want to make anarchists who are stupid be in the forefront, and smart libertarian minarchists like Ryan have to get suppressed because they're correct and they're smarter. That was his reasoning.
Question to you both: flat Earth, yes or no?
Maybe.
I'm reverse Earth, where it's like we're kind of on the inside, and so you kind of invert the Earth.
I don't really care about flat Earth. I honestly don't. The thing is, flat earthers are so autistic and insufferable about it. Like, the moment a podcaster that does conspiracies or cryptids or anything like that, if they hint at flat Earth, they're like thirsty dudes who see like a hint of cleavage on a bitch and they have to get in their DM. They start copying and pasting all their threads of 25-page essays that they wrote about flat Earth.
Why are you ripping on Top Lobster right here? So
is Top a flat earther?
Right.
I don't think Top is not one of those flat earthers. If he is one, he's just like, okay, yeah, flat Earth, whatever. He doesn't
Top Lobster is whatever you are. He's not, and to the nth degree.
I'm more of a hollow earther. I will say that. I care more about hollow Earth theory and Antarctica and things like that than flat Earth. I couldn't give a shit about that.
And by the way, I think I mentioned this the other night.
What is what's the thing that Hitler was looking for in Antarctica? I can't remember. It was in the
Tartaria, the giants, just all that shit. Yeah.
By the way, if you're interested in Hitler and all that stuff, check out my episode with Pete Quinones. We just talked about
he's been doing a series with that one guy. So
Thomas 777. By the way, who I heard on with Mark Claire, it was a very interesting thing. But that I tried to watch the video, and he wears that scarf, and I just can't. I am a firm believer in presentation. I'm like, we got Dickie here, we got David, we got me. We're not bad, but we don't. I don't know. There's something like when Pete was pushing, and I love Pete, by the way. But when he's pushing Andrew, who is just abysmal to look at, I'm like,
Andrew,
maybe someone else pushes this product. I don't know. And I have a little trouble with Thomas. But he's eccentric. And I don't know. I'm willing to not make a too much of a judgment. However, flat earthers, I don't think they can believe in aliens. So that's where I think Top Lobster may have a problem.
Little contradicting Lobster. Well, I will be possibly discussing some of this stuff on Raven's Watch coming up soon. I'm going on there the day after Columbus Day. I forgot what date that is. But he wants to know all my paranormal stories that I have. I'm thinking about sharing some of them. We'll see how much I divulge. But we will probably talk about the Nephilim and the Giants and Tartaria and all the fun shit.
All right,
so tune in on whatever date that is.
Thomas's style is too cool for you fucking normies. Could be. I've seen housewives wear that exact thing in 1960. So I don't know. Perhaps you're correct.
I mean, I don't know what a scarf is, so maybe I'm uncultured.
Right. David, what do you think? What's your take on that?
What my take on which exactly?
Exactly. Keep going.
I mean, I don't really think about the Thomas 777 guy at all. Like, I don't. I'll scroll through my timeline, and then Pete will post that he has a new episode with the guy, and I'm like, oh, huh. And I'll just keep scrolling because I don't care. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up here, so maybe we can everyone can take a look at here. And by the way, I actually I really enjoyed this episode. It talked a little bit more about the personal side of Thomas. But I don't know what the point of this headband and scarf are. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, that's a little rough. Is that Flat Earth Dave?
That was Mark Claire and Thomas.
He looks like a groupie for some, like, terrible black metal band.
Right.
A groupie?
I agree with your take, Tyler, on being presentable. Thank you. I appreciate that. By the way, that's what I've said for years and years with libertarians. You know, the Mark Claire style, they say, hey, look, why don't you go out, get a job, and then, you know, worry about this other thing. I say, hey, go out, fix your teeth, and then that'll help you get a job, and it will help you look much more presentable. So maybe as the good old Jerry Seinfeld, the anti-dentite, perhaps. That's... No,
Tyler could have been a dentist. Maybe that's his third job he'll get after being a lawyer and engineer. He'll just be the kind of guy that when a girl walks in a bikini, he looks at her teeth first.
Look, I'll just say this. I mean, impeccable. That's all I'm saying. My brother-in-law is
you haven't taken out your dentures yet?
What? Right.
I will say, like, one thing I'm not really a fan of is just the readiness to yank out wisdom teeth. Because apparently that ruins your jaw.
It depends, right? For me, I got them taken out when I had braces as an adult for space, to make sure. Because sometimes you have to... Braces aren't just about lining your teeth. It's about jaw health and your bite. So these are things people need to understand. I had a class 3, which was a little bit underbite. Or the bottom was a little out, so I had to fix that. And part of that was taking away my wisdom teeth. They luckily were erupted, so they were able to pull them out. Yeah, that's my story. What is this? Yeah, Tyler finishing it. LMAO. What about that? Have you seen a Thomas 77 tweet? Yes, I have. I saw him tweet about he had his outfit on. I think he had some Nazi paraphernalia going to Jared Taylor's thing down in Tennessee. It looked a little strange, but God bless him. Always check the teeth.
Nazi paraphernalia. Very cool. Yeah. He's a Motorhead fan?
I don't know. That's what I've got.
I think David, he's just trying to be like an extra on the wall.
He's trying to be a boss model.
Yeah, could be. David, what do you got going on this weekend?
What do I got going on this weekend?
Yeah, what's the college life like for you? What I mean, I'm sad that I'm glad you're here with us, but I'm also like worried about you being here with Dickie and I on a Friday night.
I mean, 8 p.m. tomorrow, I got to watch a TCU game against West Virginia University, and we're going to kick West Virginia's ass. But otherwise, I mean, just kind of whatever happens. I got all my notes done for this, so now I'm 2 chapters ahead of my econ class. So
the chicks love that.
I'm basically free.
Jethro wants to know more about your 2-week experience with Mises Institute.
All right. Well, I mean, I went to Mises U. That's obviously, and I also went the week before that because I was a Mises. I still am a Mises apprentice, and so I got to spend an extra week hanging out at the Ludwig von Mises Institute in Auburn, Alabama. I basically spent the entire time like writing articles, hanging out. How was
that institute? Is it a big building? Is it a little thing? It sounds big, but is it?
It's surprisingly small. Like, okay. I think it's a lot smaller than you would imagine. And I'm told that there used to be, like, Mises University classes of, like, 300 students. We had maybe, like,
but what are the facilities 100? Like, the actual
place? It's pretty small. I mean, it's got Rothbard's personal library there. It has, like, I think it's the Wiley Library, where it has like a bunch of different collections
Exactly.
of various books. They've got archives, they've got lecture halls, they've got offices for everybody. They have administrative wings. They have like a recording studio, all that fun stuff. It's a really great place. They also have like their own line of apartments there, like right behind the Institute. That's called Rothbard
For
Village.
hookups?
No, Rothbard Village, and they technically rent them out during football season for since it's right next to the Auburn football stadium. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I love how Cole is like a diehard Auburn fan and has still never read anything from the Mises Institute.
Wait,
That's
Cole
how
can
diehard
read?
of an Auburn fan he is. He's like, you know what? I'm going to embrace everything about Auburn, which is being completely illiterate.
And killing trees by pissing on them.
Not gonna lie, I love Auburn. Like Auburn was like at least where the
Right.
Institute is, it's
I'm
like a
just
beautiful
mocking
area.
the,
What time of the year did you go, David?
Last 2 weeks of July.
And you got on with Bob
Bob
Murphy.
Murphy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got an article published at the Institute about Fed Now, which is basically a clearinghouse mechanism for the banks, just faster. And I got to talk about like that and central bank digital currencies, how those work, all that fun jazz. I got to be up there in the little studio they've got at the Institute, which is really fun.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
just diced like. So I watched
So
that whole
they-
one. I thought it was good.
They post up right near a college campus full of Southern belles, and none of those guys can still get any pussy.
You'd be surprised.
Would I? I would.
Yeah,
Are
I mean,
you giving secrets?
I
about
would. They're
Bob Murphy?
libertarians.
I don't know. You should listen to Connor Mortel and his stories. The man's an absolute legend, despite being a summer fellow at the Mises Institute. So yeah.
Cool. So what's your plans with Mises from now? I think you just published something with them recently. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just had an article published on the false framing of protectionism and why like people who argue for protectionism they don't understand they're not framing their arguments correctly. Like they're not talking. They have these kind of like idealistic notions, but they don't think about like how it benefits consumers at all or anything, or like how a market actually works. So I basically like break down in the article how that all works and why protectionists are basically mentally ill. So yeah.
Oh, there we go. Benzo said it before me, I guess.
Right. You got to have. No, you don't.
There were a surprising number of women at Mises.
Brad Palumbo has hookups, and no women are involved.
Or is that what you call those satellite dishes on the side of his face?
Damn.
Have you ever noticed he looks exactly like Leo Frank, the Jew that killed Mary Fagan back in 1913 that started the... No, nobody? Okay.
I can't say I know what that guy looks like.
I'm going to be doing this. I've started a series on that issue, and I'm actually going to be on Pete Quinones' show talking about it. Speaking of which, he was saying that we should basically... I'm going to summarize what he's saying and kind of take privileges with how he's saying it, that the Americans should be more, or the libertarians even, should be more into protectionism, as you were just talking about, and tariffs should not be thought of as a bad thing. He's talking about everything going over to China, blah, blah, blah. I was starting to kind of push back, but I didn't really do so because I didn't really want to have a debate on that. But I'm thinking that economics says that over-regulating American companies doesn't help that situation, right? But he says economics is fake and gay, and so at that point, there's no conversation with it.
Yeah.
So what is part of your article? I mean, look, can we bring some of these jobs home, and does that require our government to loosen restrictions here?
I mean, certainly. Like, I break down the article into like a couple parts where, one, I don't think that free trade, because obviously NAFTA is this weird like kind of zombie of it. Shit, I had a train of thought, but it left the station there. But I break down
I'm going to read
basically.
this out loud, just so totally interrupt. Trying to imagine the smell of a Rothbard hookup dorm and just threw up in my mouth. Thank you.
I think it's
Benzo.
because half the students there are Indians. That would explain how they flirt in people's DMs too.
Maybe. Okay,
Open
sorry,
up your
David.
cloth,
Ready?
dear.
Protectionism, go.
So I break the article down into like two parts where I'm like, I don't think it's all free trade, how I think government regulation, like if you look and see the size of like the federal regulations, like those have skyrocketed. and also, and as well as like governmental regulation agencies like EPA, OSHA, all that terrible garbage. Like those all kind of interact at the same time, and that correlates kind of with the decline of manufacturing jobs in the United States as well. But also, like, even if like it was just free trade, then that would still be it's just what the market does. It's not because like trade is bad. It's because producers are trying the job of an entrepreneur is to invest in undercapitalized and underinvested industries, so that way he can have the lowest costs and derive the most profit. And then what happens is they're able to go in to pass on those lesser costs in the form of like cheaper goods for you. So Americans are making the choice that they want these cheaper goods. If they wanted American-made goods, consumers, like, if they really derived psychic profit from having goods made and manufactured in America, they would be willing to pay for goods made in America. But clearly they don't. They value what is the cheapest. So when you go in and implement tariffs, you basically make everything more costly for American consumers. So the best strategy is to deregulate our own economy.
Right, and you make a good point about what we desire, and if we really were so patriotic that we were only going to buy American, we would be doing that.
Yeah.
I get it. Look, Lorenzo says here, for someone who talks about living in your head, Pete certainly loves living in some of the right-wing utopia in his head. Unserious. I don't know if he's unserious. I think he's too serious.
I think Pete on Twitter is a very different persona than like actually speaking with Pete. Like there's a
nice guy.
There's a big disparity there because
Pete
like,
goes
Twitter,
hard in the
very
paint
much
on
more,
Twitter
yeah,
and stuff, and he would online, in person too. But he's generally like he's a nice guy, from what I hear.
And that was part of my conversation with him, which was kind of trying to get away from all this. But we kept getting stuck into that, and he kept coming back to it. Part of it was Phobes, I think, one of my followers that was just trying to light him up on the comments. And Pete was reading that, and so he then started to get all worked up, started basically calling names, and it kind of went from there. Lorenzo says, I intensely like this Pete Quinones. First of all, queer Jonas. First of all, the name calling is not necessary. And the reason I say that is because,
to be fair, they've never been nice to each other, Lorenzo.
I understand.
They've never been friendly.
Pete does that as well, and I'm not a fan of it, right? I mean, I have a problem unless you're saying certain things about COVID and you're fat, then I will take you on. Otherwise, I don't really care what you look like online. We can't really help it. I mean, we can try, but I mean, look what I've got to work with. So it's you can't necessarily. I don't go on the line and take someone's screenshot and start making fun of them. But I see that with libertarians who aren't attractive. They do that a lot themselves, and I'm like, whoa, I don't know where you're getting off doing this. And so I'm not a fan of that. And even the name calling, because as Pete and I were talking about it, to do so demeans you, it non-persons you, and then you can kill yourself later, and then he comes back at some point and he's doing that. So it doesn't make sense. Okay. Anybody else? Should we head out of here? That's Twitter for you, right, Jethro? Jethro, by the way, you got me in trouble once. He tagged me in a tweet with Safin Amadous. Amadous, is that his name?
Safedine?
Safedine.
Amos?
I believe it is. Or whatever. And then that guy came into my DMs and he started shitting on me because I called him a liar. And then I did a whole.
He bashed your religion, right?
Yeah, and I don't care that you bash my religion, but you just
realized he was saying incorrect things about your religion.
He was saying incorrect things, and then he's like, "If you would read my book," so I'm like, "Well, okay, fine." I said, "Hey, why don't you come on my show and talk about it?" And he told me, he goes, "Fuck you, you attention whore," and I'm like, "Okay, that's legit, I get it." But I'm like, so I said, "But if I was an attention whore, I would be publishing these DMs right now." So I went and I found his book, and then I read it about Fiat Foods. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's even worse. He's just horribly lazy because I found even more mistakes and I posted that out, but that's fine. And by the way, to each their own, but my problem with him and what's the guy, he's a historian, not Brian McClanahan, but he's been on Tom Wood's show. He did a whole thing about Hoppe and he totally lies. So, but he's done
Phil Magnus?
Phil Magnus, thank you. But he's done great work on the 1619 project. And I'm like, if you're lying about something that's so easily provable, like Safedine was, what am I supposed to believe with you? So Safadine may be great on Bitcoin, but I tell you what, there's a lot of other people that are great on Bitcoin, and I'll just go to someone else that I actually trust. That's my perception.
Oh, yeah. I like Saifedean. I mean, I honestly I didn't like the fiat standard much, mostly because it puts everything in like the Bitcoin terminology, which is like, I mean, I can understand what he's saying, but it's just like clunky, and I don't like having to do the translation here. But I mean, I liked the Bitcoin standard. The fiat standard was pretty decent. I think there's a lot more you can add on to that economic analysis there. Like, I think the book could probably be way bigger and go into more detail about X, Y, or Z. But so I can't speak to like what he may or may not have gotten wrong, because it's been a while since I actually read the book. But I enjoy a lot of his stuff because he's very big on the whole Austrian economics Bitcoin thing together, as much as I'm skeptical of Bitcoin and everything. But he also like does this weird thing where he kind of like also works with like, you know, all those right wingers who are like, we want beauty or whatever, like all the culture critic guys who like they want beautiful architecture or whatever.
They're so annoying, dude. I want to see the physique on all those fucking Roman statue profile pictures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that.
Look, Jethro wants to know, what was he specifically lying about? So here's a problem what I have with a lot of people, and it reminded me way too much of like the Daily Wire types, which is you have a concept, and here's your whatever your concept is. Now you're going to find issues that fit it, and you're going to cram them in there, even if they don't really quite fit. And he did that with Fiat Foods. His whole point with the Fiat, and he told me, he's like, look, because he was on with Jeff Deist and Bob Murphy, and he basically said the wrong person's name. And he goes, look, all I did was say the wrong person's name, but it didn't really make a difference. And I'm like, well, actually it makes a difference. First of all, you wrote a book. You should be able to tell who the actual person is, what the issue is, and make that correct. It's not up to me. So now you're upset at me because I pointed out that you were incorrect on a podcast. You wrote a book. So he's like, fine, I'm writing the book. So I read the book. And the issue was, he talks about the SDA church. No big deal. They're big into vegetarianism in the late 1800s. Dr. Kellogg, who you've probably heard of, Kellogg's Cornflakes, blah, blah, blah. And he just conflates so much. And what I found was his refutation to me coming back in my DMs was a link to a blog in Australia. I'm like, that's your answer? You're going to... And that may be about Australia, but it's not about America. So anyway, I wrote a blog post about it, a Substack. I'll send it to you, Jethro, if you really want to know. He's definitely correct. This is the problem. He's definitely onto something with real Fiat Foods.
I think the inflation thing is really where you want to go into, because then you subsidize, you know, things like wheat and grains and all that stuff, because those are easy to subsidize and hide the price of inflation. Because if people eat more grains or whatever, you could subsidize those and make the rising prices disappear. So I think that's kind of the thing.
Right. So Jethro says, even if he's wrong about this example, he's still onto something profoundly important about Fiat food and more.
Yeah, but if he wants to be good on that, then he needs to check his bases and make sure he gets things right.
Exactly my point, which is I agreed with him on the substance, but then he uses these other examples, which he's completely wrong and literally lying about. So why do you do that? I was on board with everything you had to say, and part of his problem, I think, is he's a carnivore at heart, and so he's got to push this diet situation no matter what it means to him, and he's writing a book. My point is, I didn't think he was, I was like, you know what, maybe he wasn't lying, but he's really lazy.
Yeah, it's just trying to insert your pet issue.
Yeah, you're really lazy as an author, and that might be worse. So nobody's perfect. He's not a legend.
So when does Drunkcast drop?
How do you be a legend if you can't? Okay, I'm just going to send you the stuff. You can read it if you want or not, but I don't have to like him. That's all I'm saying. And don't fucking get me worked up on a Friday night, people.
Fucking David.
I'm sorry, I'll do better next time.
I didn't want to bring smart people on the show. I was happy being ignorant and blissful.
So here, last thing I'll say about this, which is, I think he's done a great work with his Bitcoin standard. Read it if you want. I also think that other people have done great work in the same area. I will go to them. You could go to him, because I don't trust now. It's like, you know, your wife or your girlfriend, or, you know, David, I don't know, your parents, Dickie, your wife. she can tell you 9 out of 10 times something true, and she lies to you that once. What is your feeling about everything she says from then on? It's like, oh, she might be lying about this. So stop with that. Be truthful, and don't be a shitty researcher. If you're an author, it's really simple. So David, when you do work and you're writing articles, are you doing shitty research or are you doing good research? Tell me right now. Ready to go.
I spend way too much time researching and making sure, because like I can't, like if I find like something that like supports what I'm saying, but it's on like this weird shitty looking website that looks like a mom blog from 2007, I'm not going to use that. Like I'm going to try to delve further. That's why I try to like reference like the St. Louis Fed, like they have the Federal Reserve economic data stuff. So I try to reference all of that stuff, and I try to find somewhat reliable sources that even people who disagree with me can be like, oh yeah, that's a reliable source regardless. We don't maybe necessarily agree with your analysis after that, but those are good sources to reference. Like I spend way too much time looking and trying to make sure I find the right sources online.
Benzo has a good point here. Here's the Fiat Food on the Bird app.
Isn't
It's a
Jess
female.
Core, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
like she's from northern New York or whatever.
I don't know. She's got some tats. She's like sometimes hot, sometimes not. I don't really know. Looks like she's still looking for the right man. So Andy.
I don't know. I heard Andy had some success.
Andy, I don't know what he's doing right now. He needs your. If you're a God-loving person, put some prayers out there for him. That's all I'm saying.
Me and Andy spent some nice quality cuddly time together in our messages.
Okay.
AKA we sent some memes.
Benzo has the inside. She said, "Jess is my wife. We've been married." Fucking liar.
Well,
who's gonna break the toad?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Dickie. First of all, you are you watching Tower Gang lately?
I watched the last one. I mean, every now and then. Kind of hard to, because like they'll be on right when I'm putting my son to bed or I'm doing school or something. So, shut up.
I'm having a tough time. It's always in the wrong time. David, do you want to break the inside scoop on what happened with you and there? You want to really cause trouble?
Damn, Tyler.
I mean, I don't have beef with them anymore. I mean, I think me and Top have kind of reconciled in a certain way. I mean, I liked one tweet, and I think it kind of blew up. I didn't respond a great way. Top didn't respond a great way, and so
was
whatever.
that the Lorenzo in those private
circle? Yeah, in the Twitter circle thing.
Yeah, that was good.
Like I liked the first.
I wanted to like
thread.
it, and I don't think I did. And then good thing.
So that's really all that happened. So I haven't been watching Tower Gang. The only thing I've really been following is the End Times Continue. That's Ace's podcast, and Ace is kind of annoying, but I do enjoy his podcast. But and then I also watch Timeline Earth. Those are really the only things I consistently listen to.
Tell us about Ace's podcast. So I used to be a fan of Ace, and then things kind of went weird, and I just kind of don't really care about him or Toad because they go at each other, and I think they're both wrong.
They're the same person
every time. And they are completely.
We are all Ace. But I mean, Ace is very different.
Toad will spur about Ace so hard, and it's literally an argument that he would make just a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And I have that picture of him from Josh's show. It says "We are all Ace," and I constantly post it at him anytime he goes at him, and it just shuts him down.
That's a banger of a picture. Yeah. But yeah, Ace in podcast form is he's a lot more tolerable than he is on Twitter. Like he's also not very like forceful on like the whole social values or whatever. I think Ace is pretty consistent as a libertarian.
Get out of that fucking azalea bush.
Stuff like he's pretty consistent. He might be the most consistent, and so I think Ace is probably pretty good in that respect. When he argues about social values and stuff, it gets annoying. I don't like that, but he's very much tamed in they talk about like video games and all that weird stuff on his podcast with like I think it's Dino is who he does the podcast with, and David, so I find it enjoyable.
Have you read Atlas Shrugged?
No, actually. I read Anthem, and I got it for free from the Ayn Rand Institute, and then they just were like, you want this free book? And so I was like, okay, I'll take your books, but I never read them. Like, I opened the first page to Atlas Shrugged, read it, and I was like, this is garbage, and I put it back on my shelf.
So I loved Atlas Shrugged, and I've read it multiple times, like 3, 4 maybe at times. She's very, and even in the book, anti-Christian or religion God, right? I can take what the premise of the book and even that part, and I just kind of like don't care, and I could still enjoy the book. And I think that's what people don't do a lot of times, because I don't think that her premise means that you can't have religion. I think you can take, and by the way, I don't necessarily take her premise. What I find interesting about that book is kind of the Orwellian, the topics, like you see the laws being passed and the names of them, and at the time, and you're like, you know, the Good for America Act, and it's like not good for America, you know, those kind of things. So I think that's really relevant for now. My point is, I could take that and not care about the religion part, and I think that people often they get so hung up on one little aspect, like me with Saifuddin, that they can't get past it. Whatever.
Yeah, understandable.
So,
but, I
guys,
enjoy
what do you think about Steven Crowder's contract, guys?
I only care what to think about that when Top joins in.
That was not meant to be answered.
What would you talk about if you were to go on Timcast?
Me?
Sure, both of you.
Man, I wouldn't. First off, I wouldn't be able to talk because he never shuts the fuck up. So after I got fed up with him, I would call him short probably and say something rude because I'm not a particularly funny or intelligent person. So I would just fall asleep.
Okay. David, what would you talk about if you go on Timcast?
I don't know, maybe monetary policy stuff if I could like shoo it in there, like
really trying to
talk
woo
about
the
that.
women.
I don't know. Me and Lorenzo on our podcast, we've been talking
me and
about
Travis
like,
Litzberg.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading the chat there.
No, I understand. It's Travis. He like primacy here.
By the way,
You gotta follow.
Jethro, this is exactly. I just made this joke, so I think you and I are on the same page. I totally understand that. Anyway, go ahead, David. Sorry.
I mean, I would just talk about like monetary policy, or for some reason, me and Lorenzo keep delving into like men's issues and like dating gender dynamic stuff in our podcast, and so that was something that I
would. You have a podcast?
I have a new podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Every week is chaos. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also YouTube.
Okay, so I'll have to check that out. Justin would talk about the Jews. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Tower Gay would talk about civil war. Jethro would talk about ending the Fed.
I'm not exactly on board with ending the Fed right now. Jay Powell's kind of our guy.
What do you think about this divorce? I tried to bring this up with Pete because I was thinking about this the other day because we've been having arguments in our group chat with Toad and Cole. They're very much, as an example, they seem to think that the 14th Amendment extends to the Second Amendment and the corporation should be there. I think that's bullshit. Which means this New Mexico order, the one in California, the Second Amendment should not extend to the states even, and the states should be able to do what they want. It sucks for us.
Does New Mexico have a Second Amendment enshrined in their state constitution?
That's the issue, and I think that's the point. So
if they do, then obviously that would save them. But I don't believe in incorporation doctrine.
Neither do I. Good job, David. You passed. You're already better than Toad. So what I think is if the 14th Amendment were to go away, it would actually be very soft type of national divorce. You would suddenly have all these states with their own rights, exceedingly so over what we have now. So that would maybe be the easiest way to get national divorce is to just do away with the incorporation doctrine. What do you think?
So, it kind of reminds me of this kind of thought experiment I've had as of late. Well, actually, I've had it for like a year and a half, really. Is maybe there's a benefit to having like a second Biden administration, if only because he makes all those like stupid red state governors actually willing to take back state power. And I think that's a good thing. Like DeSantis, I don't think DeSantis would have happened under I don't think he would have happened under a Republican president. And so I think that maybe like there's some benefit to having that clown in office because he makes the red state governors feel like, oh, we can make the red states better and we can take back our state power.
It's a similar thing about Congress, how they want to get more fiscally responsible when there's a Democrat in power. like the Republicans.
This is the only kind of thought experiment. I agree.
That's the only
But
kind I
look,
understand.
David, you're not correct, because DeSantis pretty much came into being under Trump. I mean, he
had
got
2
elected,
years, but like
he got elected. He didn't
reelected.
win by much.
He got
the first time.
reelected, and since his reelection, it's kind of a fait accompli, because he was just overwhelmingly elected. But his pushback was during the Trump administration. Remember, even Trump was saying, "Oh, there's going to be millions of deaths in Florida."
Well, that would have happened if it was Biden doing it, just the same.
Yeah,
I agree. I
mean,
so.
I don't know.
Lorenzo said he would like to talk about Tim is a shit musician.
Lorenzo just wants to come after everyone's head.
Lorenzo is a hater, first and foremost, which is one of the things I love about him.
I don't think Lorenzo likes anyone.
He likes me. Because
Well,
if
yeah,
he
he
ever
likes
talks
Dickie,
shit,
but
then
that's
I
about it.
I don't think he dislikes me. I'm just putting that out
I don't
there.
know, Tyler. I would gauge that.
Have you guys had DMs on the side? Or he?
Yeah, I mean, if
he
I pull
doesn't
up
care
my
about me so
Twitter
much,
DMs,
he's never even DM'd you about it. Okay, I get it. Okay.
Lorenzo loves his Uncle Dickie very much. He's a good kid.
What did you think about Tim Cast's music?
I don't listen to shit
I
music.
don't.
It was bad, by the way. It was really girly. But he just put out a skateboard video that I was very impressed by. So what do you think of that?
I like Chicken City.
What's that?
It's like his live stream of his chicken coop.
Oh, yeah. Do you have
I
chickens?
can watch
Either
chicken
one of
just
you?
run around. That's fun.
Either one of you have chickens?
Yeah,
I
I
used to
mean,
have
I have
rabbits.
chickens back at home.
We
Your
had
parents
chickens.
have chickens? You have chickens, Dickie?
No, I mean, when I was on my in-laws' farm, we had chickens and stuff. I had my favorite rooster, Polly, who is now dead. Somebody ate him. But we're gonna get chickens at some point when we get land. But right now, that's not gonna happen with my dogs.
We have 6 chickens. I built a chicken coop. It's like the Taj Mahal of chicken coops. It's amazing. It's the most beautiful. It really is. It's unbelievable. I'm very proud. I'm very proud.
Why
of
is it the Taj Mahal? Because it smells like chicken shit?
No, because it is. I'll send you a picture. It's ridiculous. It is a gorgeous chicken coop. It looks like a house. It literally is a house. My wife gets in it. 'cause I
I've
won't
seen
clean
it.
Okay.
You showed me some of it.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, yeah. So I do have chickens, and I don't know what the point of that is, other than that he was delicious. Thank you. I don't know what that
Oh,
had
you
to do
ate
with.
Polly? Damn it. I love Polly. My boy.
Uh,
There was also a
It's
rooster
tremendous.
named
It's
Chucky.
the best chicken coop you've ever seen. I've never built a bigger,
We had a
better chicken coop.
Sure.
We're gonna
best-
take
the
all
best
the
of chicken
eggs and we're
coops.
gonna make the chickens pay for them.
Get in the coop. Get in the coop now. We got the best coop.
We have a door on the outside, like hooked onto it, that is it's sensitive to light, so it closes 30 minutes after sundown and opens 30 minutes after sunrise. So it closes them, and it's an amazing thing. It's the best thing. It's kept us bobcat free for the last 2 years, because before then we had some deaths. It was
Yeah,
a little
because you're not allowed to defend your property in California, so you have to use solar doors.
Look, I'll
So
tell you
are
this.
you using like bobcat as like a slang for something else, or do you mean actually a bobcat?
No, I could send you a video of me shooting at a bobcat. Now, it was with a BB gun, but you had to get up at like
The
before
BB
6
gun.
o'clock. That was the problem. They were killing them early in the morning.
So I should expect the ATF to like kick down your door and be like, "You got a BB gun in here, boy?"
Is that a pistol brace on your pellet rifle, sir?
We had, I had an automatic
a bump
pellet
stock
gun.
on your.
Yeah, I have a
on
real
your
gun
BB
too, but
gun.
I can't be shooting my 9 at a chicken coop at 6 o'clock in the morning. We live in town, so 22 might work.
I'm gonna have to get going pretty soon, Tyler.
All right, yeah, we can close it out here. It's been 2 hours. I'm fine with that. David, I
Alrighty.
appreciate you joining us. Any
Yeah,
last
thanks
words
for
to say?
having me.
Why don't you pump up your new podcast? I don't even know about it. I'll check it out.
I mean, me and Lorenzo have a new podcast. We just kind of talk about whatever. It's not like we don't lean super heavily into all the politics crap as much as we would like. I mean, we just talk about like whatever we want to. It's basically just a conversation. But it's every week is chaos. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you really like it, Google Podcasts. I know nobody listens there, but it's an option if you really care. So that's there. I guess you could follow me on Twitter at RealDavidB Jr., just the JR. You can also find me there on Instagram or whatever for there as well, for where I post political stuff. I guess if you people are going to be at the Mises Supporters Summit, I'll be there, as well as in Fort Myers, Florida in November for a Mises event. So
wow,
there you go. That's all I got.
Dickie, what do you got going?
Well, I will be on Ravens Watch podcast. We'll be talking about the paranormal, supernatural, demonic Nephilim entities, plus any other conspiracies that we want to talk about. That will be on the Tuesday after Columbus Day. I don't know exactly what date that is, but coming soon in a couple weeks. You can possibly catch me in the LP Con in January in Florida. I'm trying to go there. If not, then you'll catch me at turn 4 at the Daytona 500. So come say hi there. I'll be completely pissed house drunk.
LP Florida's convention is going on during my birthday, so I might make the trip up there just to hang out.
There you go. So you can go see Dickie and David there, maybe. Otherwise, I'm going to be on Up All Night, Alan Mosley, coming up, I think, next week. I'm going to be on Pete Quinones' show, I think, talking about Leo Frank. But also check back here. We're going to get the man, our boy, Trash Main, back on the show because you all love him. You need him. He might need a new lady. I think he's got some lady problems, but we'll talk about that too. Also, remember, Fox and Friends, go there, get some coffee, use the review code.
Coffee's so good it can fight a pit bull.
It keeps your bitches away and your pit bulls at bay. Okay, thanks everybody. Happy Friday.
Okay, I'm leaving now. Bye guys.
But she's back.
And now.
Chick-fil-A is completely overrated. It's not that good. I prefer Zaxby's. I prefer Popeyes.
Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. And I guess that's me. Keep fucking that chicken.
Should I vote for Dick Cheney on the Libertarian Party? Do I have an obligation to vote for Dick Cheney?
I would say so.
Yes.
Did it work for those people?
No, it never does. I mean, these people somehow delude themselves into thinking it might, but it might work for us.
That one dude was like, not a podcast, I can't find it anywhere, and they don't have video.
Oh, yeah, Peter Janke, yeah.
Yeah, I blocked him.
I'll do it. If he unblocks me, I'll...
He'll buy your shirt if you unblock him, Bert.
He's a wigger.
Yeah, nothing cooler than a 49-year-old wigger. I just started live streaming. Cut me some slack. I'm pretty high tech for a boomer. But anyways,
boomer.